And that was one of the runs we got closest on.
Which is crazy. I'm like, you were so underleveled for that fight. Like,
yeah, I lost levels. I never got them back. I had no gear of optimal even. But to your point, like, you can make that work somehow. So let's do Nightreign. Yeah, I'm down.
Okay. Yeah, let's. All right, so this is because Nightreign came out like, I want to say, hold on, wait, I need to
mid last year.
Yeah, mid last year. Hold on, this is where I'm gonna have to clip everything again. Like, welcome to the Talcate Brigade, a video game club for nerds, I guess. I don't know. This is a bad intro. Okay, never mind. We're not doing that. we're abandoning that immediately. Scratch that. Edit it out, editor. Do your thing. Yeah, came out. Was it mid last year? Because I know
end of May.
Holy crap! Okay, yeah, because I have so many hours on this game, and it pales in comparison to Mariko's count. Like,
dude, no way. Okay, yeah. I'm not surprised. She kills it, but.
Yeah, but like the meteoric amount of time. Okay, so like when you and I were playing Arc Raiders, right? You remember how like that kind of skewed our algorithm a little bit, where it was just like you played a lot of fucking Arc Raiders. Like, yeah, you might have a problem. Mariko sent the same exact thing, but it was just Nightreign. Like her entire playlist for like the second half of 2025 was just like, you've just been playing Nightreign. That is like the only game you play with a dash of blueprints. Like,
that's hilarious.
Yeah. So okay, so it came out in May. It's had quite a few updates, and then we recently just got you into it, and I think we just rolled credits on it with you, right, man? Like that's
well, so I rolled credits. I think we did like 3 or 4 bosses together to completion.
Yeah.
And then I was like, you know what, I'm going to try and get better while in the interim, because I'm always like, I don't know what there's as much as I'm enjoying it, there's a considerable amount of confusion I have with this game. And it has not deterred me. It has, if anything, made me adamant to, it's kind of like a Monster Hunter situation where it's like, there is unspoken aspects of it or unexplained aspects of it. And it's a lot of like, hey, help your friend figure that out or figure it out through the community. And there is a fervent community around it. And so I was like, all right, so if we're not playing together, I'm going to go try to get better at that so I can pull my weight a little better. Like a little bit more, with a little bit more intention, a little bit more know-how. And one of those times I got hard carried by 2 insane people. And it was with the fight. Like I put like, hey, any of these bosses, and it was the final boss. And I rolled credits. I was like, oh shit, okay.
Man, I'm so jealous of the fact that you rolled credits on the final boss, because that was like the stickiest like component for our like my playthrough with Mariko. Was like she rolled credits the same way you did, like got hard carried by 2 people, and I was like, that doesn't feel good. Like we need to like do it. Like we need to do it with like a gang that is us, that is 3 of us that all know each other, and that was like fighting Libra. Like,
yeah, I was about to say that there was a satisfaction of like I quote unquote hit, or it was less I've completed. It was no sense of completion there. It was more so what I have unlocked, because I knew so many of the gameplay elements are like, hey, you can access this after you do X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
The real sense of completion was that the Equilibrius Libra fight, which we've been like, I don't think you understand. Like, the last time the 3 of us played, because we'd been bouncing between this and No Rest. The last time the 3 of us played, we worked on the first 3, and then we were just kind of like, hey, let's go for this one, or let's see what that one, or let's see what it queues up, kind of thing, of the remaining ones. There's like a centaur as well that we haven't beaten.
Yeah,
and
he's next.
And one, he is next. But then Mariko and I kept playing, and I forget why we fixated on the Libra, but I think one attempt at him got so, and I kid you not, it was like a hair. Like if you just looked his way, he was about to die, and it was on the first attempt.
Oh my god! Oh.
And then we're like, no, we have to follow up on that. Like we got to get it. And that little carrot on the stick had been dangling for 2.5, maybe 3 weeks straight.
Yeah.
Of like, let's keep trying until like we could get you on as well. Yeah. And then we're like, all right, this feels right now that we have all 3 of us. And even then, it was like, it took us like 2 or 3, I think.
Well, and I mean, the run that we beat him on made no sense.
Not at all.
Like,
But that joy that came from that, the sense of reward that came from
yeah,
finally toppling this crazy goat was so satisfying.
greatest of all
I
time.
was literally jumping for joy in the game.
I mean, yeah, I think that is the core of I think just FromSoft games in general, right? Like they are punishingly difficult, but man, the sort of elation you get when you finally beat something that you've been smashing your head against,
Yeah.
you can't replicate that. Like there's nothing
Yeah.
that feels the same.
And that's again a testament to, like we were talking about on the prior stuff, of like what they're lacking wasn't the difficulty or the challenge. Like
Hmm.
those exist and those are in place. What they lacked was cohesive multiplayer, logistics. um,
Yeah. Yeah.
and finally they broke ground with this one, thank God. But that sense of progression, like I think it was honed in, dialed in so well that, like, yeah, it does feel easier when you're playing with multiple people, but you can easily feel the pain when it's not a cohesive 3-player game, when
Yeah.
it's a very disjointed game. There's so many times I've been like, no one's leading, no one
Hmm.
knows where we're going, there's no flow to our rhythm. It makes you appreciate the sessions where someone, or at least the group, even if
Hmm.
it's not just one person, the whole group, have some semblance of like what we should be doing and how we should be doing it.
For
It's a
sure.
real night and day difference of like that smoothness, the friction, the unnecessary friction that can be like, ew, this is not fun.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, I think it's like it was also I want to say that it was a cognitive decision on their part to not include like communication, right? So people weren't just like screaming at each other. Like the only thing
Yeah.
you can do is ping and emote and that's it, right? And it's like oh, when it hits, it's great because it's like you're playing with randoms and it hits really perfectly. But then when you hit randoms and you cannot communicate your frustration and everyone is just running in the wrong direction. Oh, God.
God. Yeah. Yeah, it is a journey, but it's also interesting also how they've like really leaned into classes as well. Like you
Hmm.
can
Yeah, yeah.
there's like 8 or 9 of them, I think. Um
Nine? Yeah, nine.
and roughly, maybe I'm off by one, or I haven't unlocked one. I didn't realize I hadn't unlocked 2 of them. I thought I was just waiting for Revenant, but there was also the Scholar. I was like, wait, the guy, he's been here, but I just didn't talk to him.
Did you get
And
Undertaker?
that was the first one I got.
Oh, okay,
And then
okay.
I was like, okay, I got to get Undertaker, and now I can get Revenant. But I
Okay.
didn't know how to get Revenant until I looked it up, and it was just like fight
Yeah.
Revenant or something. And then I was like, wait, why is there another? If it looks like there's supposed to be another spot, and I'm looking, and then finally it's just like, just talk to this guy, and it unlocks him.
Yeah,
It's
he's just
so
sitting in the church. Just
yeah,
like, yeah.
but like we've talked about like Elden Ring being one of your kind of like first, hey, this is a space I like to like exist in and be in.
Hmm.
How did going from that to this, was it one to one? Was it pretty streamlined, or was there like a different point of friction for you going to what Nightreign is?
I actually felt like there was less friction going into
Okay.
Nightreign from the Elden Ring universe. Because, like, I mean, you played Elden Ring. The
Yeah.
movement speed in Nightreign is wild. Like, I was like, oh, this is different. And like you can imagine from playing like hundreds of hours of Elden Ring, and then you jump into Nightreign and you're literally going like warp 7 out the gate with these characters, and you're just like, this doesn't feel like Elden Ring, but I'm okay with it because like it almost gave you permission to be exploratory, like in
Yeah.
a way that you didn't have with Elden Ring, because which is hard because Elden Ring's an open world, so yeah, it's very exploratory. But what I mean is like the speed, even though you had like the circle closing in, which is like I get why they did it, but it still makes me mad that that's a mechanic. But like the the circle closing in doesn't necessarily stop you from being like, I think we can hit that town, or I think we can hit that castle, right? Because you're like, we have speed, we can make it there, and maybe risk it for the biscuit, which
Yeah.
we did in our trios multiple times because. Or you guys did because like I wasn't telling you not to go do it, and so we would run, and then the rain would hit us.
I started learning what optimal runs were. It's like you don't wait till the new day to start. You just start going. You're gonna hit a. I didn't realize that. Like I thought my flasks weren't resetting until I leveled, not until I just go to another
Oh,
Site of Grace.
Oh
So I'm
yeah,
like,
dude.
oh, I just gotta find a Site of Grace. That's on the way to the thing I'm running to anyway. And like most of the builds I run are very high in HP
Yeah.
because I'm mostly a raider more often than not, and then a
Mhm.
little bit the Duchess. But I was like, yeah, I can run in this fire and then hit a and regen that. So as long as I was with a group that knew what they were, where we were going, I was fine with it. But it's funny, I very much contrast with you on the point of it being exploratory. I feel like I am never, and this is why I've been looking at guides.
Mhm.
I'm never looking at what is around me or what, like, I am only looking at necessities and I'm moving to the next thing because I feel not only unsure of where I am, but I feel like I'm 10 like waiting to understand. Like I'm disoriented a bit because I'm often like you and Marco will be like, oh, we got to go over there. By the time you're done saying we got to go over there, you're already there, and I'm trying to still determine where there is and on what plane of the 3D plane that exists, because verticality is a huge part of this.
Yeah, yeah, that's
And it
true.
doesn't tell you; it just says it's in that direction. I'm like, are they below me or are they above me? And I think you're above me, but then I like go to the edge of the cliff and it's actually below and it's in a cave, and I'm like, holy shit, like I am just struggling to keep up
Yeah.
9 times out of time. So it's very interesting how you can have two very different experiences there, because I have not looked at anything.
That's
Besides that Erd tree, it's like once it's the home run for the Erd tree, I'm
yeah.
like, all right, I'm gonna kind of bask in like, whoa, it looks so cool. Can you actually see it? This
Well, I mean, okay, hold on. So exploratory may not have been the right word. I think it's more so that like you feel like you can make mistakes because of the roguelike sort of stakes of the game. You know what
Oh
I mean?
yeah, okay, yeah. Oh my God, you're 100% agree with you there.
Yeah, it's just like
That
let's
one of those last runs we did with the Libra, I felt like I was so behind, and I was like, "This is going to be such a trash run, but it'll be good, like in data to gather for enemies or stuff."
Mhm.
And that was one of the runs we got closest on, and I'm
Which
like,
is crazy. I'm like, you were so underleveled for that fight. Like,
"Yeah, I lost levels. I never got the back. I had no gear of
yeah,
optimal even." But to your point, like you can make that work somehow, like
yeah,
right?
yeah,
That's so like that flexibility is really impressive, and I totally agree with you.
yeah. And it's like, oh, so there's the roguelike of it all, right? Which I
Yeah.
was just like, that is something so interesting because I mean, FromSoft FromSoft games feel not like a roguelike in the regard that like, you do multiple runs and then you build up things over time. It feels like a roguelike in the fact that you go to a thing, it kills you, and you go to it again. and it kills you again until you learn how to not get killed by it until the next thing kills you. So I mean, I guess it's been in their DNA a little bit, but this was their first like actual like roguelike. Like you're getting different things, you're getting different upgrades as you progress through the system. And
Yeah.
the funny thing was like when we were first talking about it, like when it first came out, it was very much like I don't know if they know what they're doing with this because this is not a FromSoft thing, and it's I don't know, man. It's been crazy, like how successful this was. Like I
Yeah.
had no idea it would be this good. So
Almost in spite of itself, because my to the even when it first came out and to this day, I still think it's the biggest thing holding it back from me being even better is it doesn't have crossplay. Like if you're in the
yeah,
PC ecosystem, you're playing with PC players and console with console. I'm like, I think that would just incentivize more playability just of this in altogether, like getting matchmaking, getting groups together, like it's the same. You're not worried about comms because like you said, the way
yeah,
you communicate is just pinging.
yeah.
So
Wait, does Elden Ring have crossplay?
um I don't know if it's across everything. I do know the
Okay,
way they group things is consoles altogether and
okay, okay,
then PC, but
okay.
let me see. Elden Ring crossplay.
Because that does seem like a
It
weird.
does not feature full cross-platform play.
Okay,
It only supports cross-gen, so meaning PlayStation 4 and
for the
PlayStation
PlayStation
5,
Five, yeah,
and then Xbox One and Xbox Series X and S. So yeah, that one's disjointed as well. That one isn't even the consoles
yeah. I
across
wonder
the gen.
why that was. That just like a decision where they're just like,
I mean, they don't
that's what
like
it'll be.
this being the first breakthrough in their multiplayer. I'm not surprised. It's not surprising. I just
Yeah,
say,
it's just
um,
like, oh, it's so. It's fascinating because like when it came out, I was like, this is weird. Like they're using assets from Elden Ring. Like this almost feels like a money grab. But then like when you start playing it, you're like, nope, this is a brand new thing. I know it feels like Elden Ring, but it's like it's also like calling like pixel art a style. It's like no, there can fundamentally be a different game wrapped in the same wrapper, and that's yeah, like that was the thing that kind of got me there. But man, that's weird that they don't have crossplay. That would fully blow this thing up. Like
Yeah, I it's which is to say it's like it's good. It could be even better.
yes,
The
yeah,
part you touched on being Elden Ring, I think is also funny because I'm not super well versed in the Dark Souls lore of across their many games of specifically Dark Souls, the IP
yeah,
1, 2, and 3.
yep,
But some of the bosses in this game come from Dark Souls.
yes,
And
they do.
so the confusion is even more of like what is like this is calling itself an Elden Ring thing. It's very explicitly not a Dark Souls thing, but it's getting characters from other IP. I'm like to me I don't like there it's weird because in the vein of what I equate to with FromSoft is design intent. Like
Yes,
to the
yeah,
to like as the one of the key pillars of like they're intentional with level design, with character design, with
hmm hmm
everything about their games. And to see something like that feels very unintentional in the weirdest way. Like I don't understand the reason behind it or
mm.
what it does.
You know what? I would actually disagree with you there. I feel like there's an intention here, but I think it was one of those things where you had to like, you know, like there's like 24 YouTube channels that are fully built for just discussing Elden Ring lore and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go ahead and put my tinfoil hat on right now. My theory is that Nightreign is basically the Dark Souls multiverse, because like they're very vague about Night Lords, and they're very vague about like how like during these runs on this like remote island different bosses appear, and I think it's like this sort of nexus between all of the sort of FromSoft worlds, and that's why
but
we get these crossovers of like different bosses.
so maybe I'm reluctant to think that just because it is so like
It's
Elden
so
Ring is
convenient.
like they had J.R.R. Martin like involved to build a lore of this world and ecosystem.
Well, and that's the
And
that's the thing
but
though is well that's the thing is I don't think I think Elden Ring is not necessarily the universe that this is trying, because like the lore of Nightreign doesn't necessarily follow Elden Ring. It is actually it's its own lore, right? Like it's not trying to tie back to any of the stuff from Elden Ring. I think it's like it's this is this island where you are fighting these Night Lords infinitely, kind of thing, and there isn't any like particular reference to. I could be 100% wrong. The comments could flame
so
me, but
no
yeah,
no they're not
like
going to flame you. Well, they might, but
they might. It's fine. It's fine.
it's fine.
Let me suck
I'm
at it.
gonna come to your defense just because I did find a confirmation.
Okay. Okay. Good.
Okay, so we're gonna for those that listen. So, the director of the game spoke to a Spanish game outlet 10 months ago, or this at least was found, and they were asked like, why are there Dark Souls bosses in Nightreign? And the gentleman, the director of the game, says the director's name is Ishizaki.
Mhm.
The appearance of old bosses in Nightreign is a game design issue. They serve as game design purpose rather than lore purpose. We simply wanted to have a lot of variety, and personally, as the director, I thought it would be fun to face these bosses in a new setting and with Nightreign's new game design. We wanted to build on what we had and what we wanted the world of Nightreign to feel like, an amalgamation of our past experiences and titles. So it seems
Okay.
like a good opportunity to include some of those bosses.
Okay. All right.
So from a gameplay standpoint, I think that hits on what you're saying. From a lore standpoint, I think they just said disregard, and I'm fine. See, the thing is, I'm fine with that,
hmm
and I'm like, hey, lean. I'm just saying, lean into it. Like you got Sekiro, you got Bloodborne, you got
Oh my
fucking
god.
Armored Core. Like, why not? Like maybe that's
Armored
maybe
Core.
okay, fine. Maybe that's a bit too far.
Too far. Too
but
far.
but Sekiro and Bloodborne, even just
Yeah.
Bloodborne.
Yeah.
like
I mean,
like
Bloodborne
let's lean
alone.
into
Yeah.
that.
Well, because like they have skins that are very clearly Bloodborne esque.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, that makes 100% sense. Okay. All right. That's fine. I'm just like going to concentrate on the on all the flame comments I'll get for stating that without looking up sources. It's fine. It's fine. But no, I agree with you. Oh my god. So did you play Sekiro?
Yeah, that was so after Elden Ring. Elden Ring made me want to brave more FromSoft games. I went to Sekiro after that.
Did you beat it?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't.
That game is hard as shit. That game is hard as shit.
Oh, okay.
It is a very different game, and I think the other thing I was going to hit on, if you don't mind me going on a little bit of a tangent.
No, go ahead.
Okay. You were talking about it being open world and all this stuff. I think the thing, and likening it to, likening or contrasting it with Elden Ring itself proper.
Yeah.
I think this game shares a lot of semblances and play style feeling of Sekiro, because Sekiro is probably one of the fastest paced games in FromSoft's catalog. I think Dark Souls and Elden Ring are go very slow. You know, watch that corner, take an enemy. You're not aggroing anything.
Yep.
Sekiro is just like hit, move, run, hit, move, run, hit, move, run. And I think Bloodborne also leans into that, like incentivizing you to be aggressive. This game really incentivizes you to be aggressive and not just like wait for one thing, because you're one, racing against the clock, and two, you got places to be, man.
Yeah. I mean, it 100% incentivizes violence and aggression, because I mean, the whole currency of the game is runes, and you collect them by murdering things. And so like I always feel bad when you see those like zombie kind of mages walking along the road, because I'm like, they have no idea what's about to hit them. Like, there's a small girl with a big sword, a raider, and a literal monster just about to like wreck their day. Like, and I'm just like, I every once in a while I'll think through their like perspective of just like them just like shambling down the road. They're like, oh, I guess we're undead again. And then these three shadows just kind of come over the crest of the mountain like in a Monty Python sketch. And they're just like, we're gonna wreck your shit now.
Yeah, I always think of Benny Hill when it's the three of us running through and just like destroying, you know, one little boss. Like while you're still looting the last boss, I'm starting to fight with the next, and then Mariko shows up and collects. He's like, "Oh, you've already beat it." I'm like, "Yeah, let's go to the next thing."
Thing, yeah.
Yeah. But so sorry, you brought up Sekiro for a specific reason?
Oh, yes? Yeah, no, well, because it's in that sort of backlog of games that I'm like, I'm mildly terrified to play. So I mean, maybe let's slightly modify like the scope of today's talk of just Elden Ring to just like Souls, like Dark Souls in general, like
Souls-like or FromSoft?
FromSoft. So like Sekiro is one of those ones where like, because I have Dark Souls and I've played them, and I haven't like felt motivated to beat them, and I'm not sure why the magic isn't there for those when the magic was there for Elden Ring.
They're, as much as they're similar tonally, I think they are very different in that Demon Souls and Dark Souls, and this is coming from, I don't know how much of a hot take this is. I'll say FromSoft games as a whole, very divisive fan base.
Yeah,
you either have the people that are just like get good, or you have the people that are just like, hey, this is how you cheese shit, and we're cool with it. Yeah, I'm of the camp of like, do whatever you like. It's your game. Play how you want to play it.
Yeah.
Elden Ring, I think, leans the most into that flexibility. I think Bloodborne and Sekiro have a charm to them that are very enjoyable. The Dark Souls and Demon Souls games, I think, and I'd say like the Sekiro and Bloodborne can overlap here, but it is very much, you need to figure this out, otherwise you do not proceed, whatever that hurdle may be, and that's it. Like, full stop. You can't proceed unless you figure this, whatever pain point is. No. I find that abrasive, and it's very much like you either vibe with it or you don't.
Okay. Because there's my other data point, which is Black Myth Wukong, which came out 2024. I want to say.
Yeah, it was 2024. Yeah.
That a lot.
What are
of
your thoughts on that one?
Well, so I only played like the first couple levels, and I was like, it wasn't resonating with me as much. Like, fortunately, like one of my neighbors got it for me as like a present, and I was like, okay, cool, I'll throw it in the PS5, and I was like, this is not hitting the notes that I want, and I'm like, why is it not doing that? Because I've heard people be like, oh man, it's like, it's just as good as Sekiro. I'm like, fuck, that's the other like FromSoft game that like I haven't touched yet, and I'm like, but then I hear people tell me that like Sekiro is their favorite FromSoft game of all time, including Elden Ring, which I'm like, which one is it, guys? Like,
I think Elden Ring has the most ambitious scope and scale. It's like a very Breath of the Wild moment for that. I don't know, space. I think.
Mm-hmm.
I like Breath of the Wild opened the doors up in many ways of being like, oh, what can you do in this space? And more games were testing that. I think Baldur's Gate were their own version of a Breath of the Wild in the tactical kind of like isometric RPG space, the
Yeah.
critical RPG space. Um, Sekiro, I think, is very. That one is one of the ones where the story I think was one of the most directs, and the
Okay.
fights were badass. Like it's like I don't know how to equate it without comparing it to other stuff, but it is a very like everything about it is just stylistic and badass as hell. Like I think it takes all the stuff you love about a Bloodborne, where it's like this tone that it has, but also demonic and just grueling but satisfying. Like you genuinely, when you overcome whatever fight you're fighting,
Mm-hmm.
you are like, I'm invincible. Like nothing can stop me, and nothing peaks for me in that in their games more than that one. But it
Okay.
is one of the more painful ones too. Some of those fights are absolute bullshit.
I've
Um,
okay.
Black Myth Wukong, I think look wise and general style wise, it's kind of like a Neo in some ways, where it's like it looks like a Souls like, it plays like a Souls like, but it's shifted one or two specific things that just make it off, so that someone who knows FromSoft knows that they're not FromSoft. Like
Okay. Okay.
Neo is very much a different direction, so I won't talk about that one too much. But I think
Yeah.
Black Myth Wukong, like, there's some spots of how the combat works or how the mechanics of it work that is just, it's like a variation,
Mm-hmm.
which goes in the Souls-like space. The game I was going to put you on that I think is probably your best bet of enjoying something in this space without it being something you've already been recommended is
Mm-hmm.
Lies of P.
Okay.
That
Okay.
is the studio that has understood the assignment when it came, hey, we like that type of game and we want to recreate that experience, but do it in like a different way. Do it the same, but do it different. Like they understood that assignment.
Copy the homework, but make it distinct and make it our own kind of thing.
It is
Like,
so, it's much its own thing, but at the same time, it's so familiar in the right ways.
okay.
And the
That,
added parts that I really love about it, this is a personal part of it for me because the IP is great. It's like done the macabre variation iteration on the Pinocchio lore,
mm-hmm.
but in the tone of like a FromSofty game.
Okay.
What I love about it personally is they were like, hey, we'll give you that experience, but also, hey, we got accessibility here. You want a bigger parry window, you want a timing change, you want to, I don't know, take a health reduction or a health increase, whatever you want. Like
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
we understand it, we like it, we know you like it. Here it is, and it's been getting nothing but praise. It's been highly regarded.
Okay.
I think it's in terms of the total package outside of a FromSoft team. This
Yeah.
is the one I would highly recommend.
Okay. All right.
And it's verified on Steam Deck. It plays actually pretty well on Steam Deck.
Sarah.
For those of you that listen and have Steam Decks,
I was like, sir, I have a Switch too. I don't have a Steam Deck.
I know other people that have Steam Decks that was for them.
That's the shout out for them. Explicitly for you, Steam Deck friend. Lives of P. Something to consider. Yeah.
Yeah. You may also like playing as a Revenant. I don't know.
Small girl, big sword. Small girl, big sword. Yeah, I was actually working on an art piece of our 3 players in Nightreign. So
Oh hell yeah, that's awesome.
yeah, but I made it so that you can change it based off of which boss you want as the background. Because I was like experimenting with like, oh, here's this perspective, and then this boss, and then this boss, and then this boss, and I was like, oh, this is kind of fun. So yeah, I was thinking of, I'll send it to you when I'm done.
Okay.
I'm still coloring it. Okay, so we should talk about the classes, right? Like,
Yeah.
that was one of those things that again, like they put it out there, and I was like, FromSoft didn't necessarily create classes. You would just like you'd have builds, right? Like you'd be like, okay, I'm doing an intelligence build, or I'm doing a dex build, or I'm doing a strength build. When they introduced classes, I was like, how is this going to play? Is that like preset? It plays exactly how it sounds like. It's a preset build with stats kind of scaling based off of that build. But I was kind of surprised which ones, well, which ones we all kind of resonated with. I want to say surprised, but I also play the archer, so that is not a surprise.
Are we surprised?
We're not surprised. We're not surprised. No, that is, and I love that they made him a glass cannon, because that fool, like, he basically is just constant, persistent DPS, which I'm just like, the only way they could have balanced him is to give him the sort of frailty of like a twig in the wind. Like, someone turns around and sneezes and his head explodes. And I'm like, okay. Yeah, fair. I should have dodged. Right? But like, your class, you generally play Raider, but you mentioned that you've been trying out Duchess as well.
Yeah, it kind of echoed. It was because we've been bouncing between both this and No Rest for the Wicked, right?
Yeah.
And in both, I kind of went through a similar conundrum of like, what do I want to play like? And I do this in a lot of games. I think I go between, I like chunky, heavy, big damage.
Yeah.
But I also like agility.
Yeah.
And great. I don't know. Like, there's something. They're very two different places. I like having those options. So I was like, I found my chunky big boy, and that's Raider.
Yeah.
Where I can just unga bunga and bash people and carry the coolest weapon, have the biggest sword. It's like a great sword, like, you know, ASMR for me.
Yeah.
But then Dutch, I was like looking at some of the other classes. I'm like, I tried Recluse because I was like, oh, let's see what mage build is like, and I was like, I'm already confused by other elements. Maybe I'll come back to this later, because it was adding another bit of confusion of how that one worked.
Yeah.
And I was looking at the other stuff, and I was like, these other ones they're good. They're not bad. Like, I tried a few of them, but I liked something about Duchess resonated with me, of like, even when I'm not attacking, I learned her restage ability would benefit. Like,
yeah,
you and the other player could be just wailing on the monster, and I could just hit restage, and I've now contributed to that damage.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So I was like, oh, this is different in a way that I enjoy, where I can kind of be a little bit more evasive, touch and go-y with my movement and attacks. So I don't know, something about that worked.
Well, we should also talk about like the classes that we don't play, right?
Yeah. Were there any that you were like, I'm gonna like this, and you hard did not?
Guardian.
Okay, yeah, the Birdman.
Yeah, I was all in when I saw him on the trailer. I'm like, bird with shield, and big smash. Okay, yeah, I'm in. And then I played it, and I'm like, this is not my playstyle, because it's very much like this isn't necessarily a role on a team, but it's basically like the last man standing savior player, because like he can tank a lot of hits. And then his ult is literally like Mercy's ult of bringing everyone back to life. It's infinite cover. So like, so when it lands, everyone is invincible so long as Guardian doesn't like attack, I think. And it's like a set amount of time. It's similar to like Revenants, where she can bring everyone back, and then you're kind of invincible for a little bit of time.
For a period of time?
Yeah. But like,
interesting.
Guardian can tank so much damage, but it's one of those things where it's like, it's a high skill class where like, when I've seen streamers and I've seen other people playing him, either they're dog shit because it's a hard class, or they are legends. And I'm like, I don't think I could do that binary. I need to be like right in the middle. So
yeah, I need a gradient. Yeah, for sure.
And you were saying which one? Recluse?
Recluse, yeah, the mage, the straight up like witch class,
full wizard hat and everything.
Yeah.
What made you bounce off there?
I want to like it. I feel like it's funny because I have no qualms saying this. I loved playing. I went full mage in Elden Ring. Like, that was what I was like, comments and at a distance and being a cheap little piece of crap. Yep. Sure, I'll do that.
Yeah.
Haters gonna hate. But in this one, it was less that and more, I don't know what I'm doing, and I don't know how to proc her bonuses or abilities.
Yeah.
And 2, I didn't realize that my mana is finite. because I'm like, oh, because everything else that I do for other classes is based not off my mana really, it's more so off of my stamina, and I'm like, oh, that just regens. Like,
Mm-hmm.
just don't use it, comes back. Don't use it, comes back. But the mana, I was like, I don't understand how this one can bend, like how I should be using it in an efficient way, and two, how do I get it back? And in order, I'm sure there are ways. I understand that they are. I was just like, I'm still trying to figure out the map. Like,
Yeah.
I'm still trying to figure out what I should be chasing. So I was like, you're on pause. I'll figure you out later. I just want to have one or two classes that I feel comfortable with, and then learn the game.
Yeah.
And I'm getting more at that stage. So maybe, yeah, I might go back to that one. But I tried also the Dex one, the one that has two wolves inside them and
Executor. Yeah.
the executive. And
Yeah.
it's okay. It was like, it's very much, I've seen people both just hack and slash with it, but I'm like,
Yeah.
I feel like if I'm doing that, I might as well just be Raider.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I like the staggering that a Raider gives you
Mm-hmm.
versus the pairing. And the Beast is fun, but it wasn't fun enough to warrant removal of the giant block that I love putting on the map and make everyone's day much more inconvenient.
It's such a good move, though.
It's such a okay. I do think we've stumbled upon a good method because that was so. For those that don't know, the Raider, his ultimate ability is he just like goes through an invincibility frame, stabs himself, screams, and beneath him a giant block, almost like from the show Reboot, would show up from underneath him and just lift everything that's on it up.
Oh
And that includes the enemy, that includes other players, but a lot of times enemies that are smaller get stuck inside of it, and they can't hit you, and you can't hit them. And it's like, okay, what do I do?
Yeah.
I think last session I started to just yell uppies before I would cast it, just to give everyone the heads up. Don't do a big attack or watch out or whatever.
Yeah. Uppies
Yeah.
is peak.
Yeah, so Executor and Recluse were the ones that kind of bounced off of.
So Executor, I feel like falls under the same camp as Guardian for me, where
Okay.
it's definitely the sort of Apex players that will run those because
Yeah.
when I've had a very good Executor on the team, they melt things. Like I'm just like, how are you doing this kind of DPS on this thing? And I'm like, given Executor is a pure DPS class, but they're like parrying everything and then like channeling it into a strike and then just murdering a boss. And I'm just like, that feels broken. Is that broken? That feels broken. And like even Marco was trying that for a little bit, and like every once in a while the parrying would go off kilter, and then that would usually ruin her day, kind of thing. But like when she was in it, she was like melting things. I'm like, damn, I really want to play this character, and especially because like the weeb aesthetic, right? Like they're very like their special ability is a damn sword in the sheath, right? And it's just like milady, and then they murder everything, right? So I'm just like. That's such a cool like character, but I feel like, you know, much like Guardian, they're just, you have to be very, very good with that character. Whereas like I feel like the characters that I'm good at, I'm pretty mediocre at. Like I'm not like the best at that character, but I'm definitely, you're not going to kick me out of bed if I'm the teammate that you get randomed with, sort of thing. And it feels like there's a little bit more room with Wilder and dude, what do I usually play? Iron Eye, yeah. Wilder and Iron Eye. They're both pretty mid as far as like everything they can do. Like you can kind of screw up and still be fine, or you can kind of perform really well and still be fine. But it feels like their range is a little bit like more steady.
Yeah, I'd say steady is the best way to describe them. They're very reliable. They're very steady. And then you could lean them into whatever the run needs.
Yeah.
Like they're your rocks in the group, and then you have the wild cannons in the group.
Yes, yeah, 100%. And then there's the new guys. Have you played with any of the new guys?
No, and that kind of was where I wanted to ask you a bit of it. Are there any characters you haven't tried that you'd want to try that you're interested in playing with? Because one of the new guys is one of the ones I'm interested in.
Yeah, I mean Undercaker.
Damn it! Yeah, same.
I've done a run with her before, and I'm like. I think I just don't know what weapons and what pickups to get for her, but like she doesn't feel like an extremist, right? Like I feel like she can be pretty steady as long as you know how to build that character. And like like I've gotten lucky on a run where she was built super OP, and then I've gotten
Mm.
terrible luck on a run and she's like trash. And I'm like, okay, so do I just not know what she's supposed to be carrying, right? Like with Wilder and Iron Eye, like Iron Eye is Dex, so look for bows and like weeb swords, and then Wilder is big sword smash and fire punch go boom. So it's like it's easy to build for them. But Undertaker is like, okay, she has a little bit of faith. She also, so that means like blessing weapons, and then she uses hammers, clubs, like
Hammers, yeah.
hammers, yeah.
So I was just looking at it. Her top stats are strength and faith, like you're saying, and hammers are her strength. So also any weapon type that scales with strength,
Okay.
and has some level of faith scaling, but strength is the one to lean into. The only thing that's like weak for her is her stamina is typically low. So kind of leaning into the spell casting or the incantations to help like support the team when not able to go as hard as like a Wilder or a Raider.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm also curious about that. Yeah, well, maybe we both have to dip into try Undertakers.
I mean, we could do like the Revenant Undertaker like that meme of just like someone walking casually through an event and then the two dogs guarding them. Like it's just like two Undertakers.
We're the K-pop demon hunters of Nightreign.
Yeah, with just Revenant in the middle with a giant sword, like like. Amazing. Oh, it's funny because like the other guy, the scholar, like he feels like he feels to me like this. Fully my opinion, and burn me down if you want. Executor, Guardian, and Scholar, because like I feel like Scholar at high level play is a very good teammate, but like it feels like almost too complicated for me to like bother learning, and so I can't even fathom trying to play that character. Like I already think too hard at work. I don't really need to think too hard when I'm playing video games.
Exactly. You know? That's why Unga Bunga.
Unga Bunga. Yeah. Full. Well, and it that's the funny thing is like you didn't do a strength build in Elden Ring the game. You went mage build for that. And then like neither did I. I played a dex build because I'm a basic bitch and I love pumpkin spice lattes. But so like
who doesn't?
But then my other friend who plays, he was like, you should just try a strength build. Like it's just fun. And now my Elden Ring character, because I did a restart because I still need to erase that sadness that I haven't beaten that game. He's carrying 2 anchors. And I'm like, this is the funnest way to play this game is just like jump on guy, double smash till dead. And it's like,
I think there's a pressure that is alleviated when you're playing something that is slow and clunky, like a strength build like that, solo versus multiplayer. Like I have the same feeling in Monster Hunter. If I'm in a group hunt, I don't feel the anxiety or pressure of like the monster always chasing me and I having to dodge and then set up my attack. I can lean on my team to like, hey, they tripped him, or hey, you know, moment of grace for me to pull away, to heal, or to do whatever, and then I'm going to come in and contribute my part and like bonk them or do something so that they could then do the thing. Like that teamwork environment is what I think allows me to like approach it more freely. In this game and in No Rest for the Wicked and in Monster Hunter especially, of like, okay, yeah, I have room for flexibility or room for errors, or a little bit more forgiving, and that attention is a little bit more taken off. So I'm like, that's my biggest reason why I'm more like, fuck it, we ball. On these games when it's like, hey, I got friends with me, cool.
I want to point this out to the audience. This is not a Soulslike game, but when we played the Division 2, like you found the one way to play that game with an Unga Bunga.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun.
You were dual wielding heavy machine guns, and I'm like, is that a build? I guess it is, because you're just like face tanking everything.
I made it a build.
It's like, it's not a build, but I'm gonna make it happen. Like, and I just remember like sitting in the back being like tactical, like snipe, and then just like I'll be like aiming down range, and then your shadow will just like go over my reticle as you're like standing in front of them, like literally standing over a guy just like emptying a full magazine into his head.
And instead of being like, okay, I'll reload it, I just swap the other one out and just like continue. And
then when you finally take cover, you're reloading both, and then you just proceed to do it again. And I was like, you've only taken cover twice, like this whole time.
See, these games, luckily, in most cases, you can either be revived or
True.
there is a little bit more forgiveness on, being killed and restarting or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very different play style when it's like you have the light, like it's like a Counter-Strike or Valorant or something where it's like you have your life for the round, that's it. That one is definitely slower, but when you have the freedom to be that reckless, I'll be that reckless so that you guys can get your shot. Like I know you and the others that we've played these games with love the precision shits, love the like. Let me get no one noticing me and taking out. Like do it. Like let me be this so that you could be that.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I get it. And you know what's funny though is that I'm in the real world, I am inverted for this. So like when I play paintball, I have a full automatic weapon and a riot shield, and I'm just like, fuck it, we ball. Everyone else flank. I'm going down this way, right? And it's interesting how your psychology changes when you do when you play certain things, and so no, I appreciate you unga bunging a bullet sponge game. Like that is top tier. I did have a question on the multiplayer aspect because you and I play a lot of multiplayer games together. How do you feel about Nightreign making it a 3-player game?
It's weird, but it's not unfamiliar to me coming from my heavy play of Destiny and Destiny 2. There's a trio environment that's become a bit of a norm, and I understand it. Like there's a little bit of like a one leading, or there's a dynamic there. 3's a magic number, all that stuff. But I don't know why this game felt that it needed that. I could easily have seen it before. Like I feel like 4 would make sense. Was there another number besides 3 or 4 that you were like curious about?
I just thought it was interesting that they picked 3. Like that's the thing that got me. And like I know that's a thing in a lot of games now for like in the multiplayer space of like battle royales. What was another one that did 3s?
I think there's a tuning aspect from a game design standpoint where when you're because it did update this game to have 2 duos or trios, and then Arc Raiders also recently, it goes no more than 3.
Yeah.
I think there's something there where the odds could still be against you, whereas if you have 4, they have to the game starts to become something else entirely with what it needs to make 4 feel threatened or feel on the edge. Like that becomes maybe a little bit more of a volume issue, or the monsters got to be like they got to do some crazy stuff. Because 3, I feel like okay, one person's down, one person's helping him, but now that those two, if they've alleviated themselves, the third person's by themselves and at risk. So, or if the 2 people are down or at risk, then it's like there's always a pressure on someone or 2 others that is there, and maybe that's the balance that they're looking for. That would be my presumption based off of like what little I've heard from designers and developers. But I do think there's an intention behind like what makes what the game starts to shift into when you play around with the player count.
Yeah, now that you mention it, now I'm thinking through like when we would play Helldivers, which Helldivers lets you run 4 players in multiplayer. And I think because you went to 4, you would have this natural split of 2 squads of 2, right? And so I like in a lot of the games that I played when it was all 4 players, like we wouldn't stay together as a squad. It was almost like 4 was too many people in a space. But 3 is kind of like the sweet spot where it's like everyone just kind of stays together.
Like imagine the best case with a 3-player team. Like you absolutely need everyone to be on their top game in Nightreign 3-player to be independent. But if you had 4, I feel like you could confidently do 2 and 2 and just do the entire map like in night 1. Like I think the measures of what it breaks the game become more glaring or more easily like reached when you just expand it to those without adjusting those. And I feel like they found a sweet spot for what those should be, and they were like, this works in this space with these challenges or with this restraint.
Makes sense. Okay, so we're at time, so I need to ask the closing question. And I'm asking this from the aspect of a day 1 player versus someone who has recently gotten into it. Who do you think Nightreign is for? Like, who do you think it was intended for, and who do you think it's become for? Is that a real sentence? I don't
Um,
know.
I think it's stayed what it needed to be from it then till now. I think it's been very much like people that obviously enjoy a multiplayer space to play games with their friends with. Um, but also from the Souls-like standpoint, I think it's another maybe like entry point or like hey on ramp. I would say. I agree with Kona. Um,
Jesus Christ. Oh. I'm gonna be editing him in there actually because he barked multiple times on this call. So.
Perfect. Night Lords, roar supreme.
Yeah.
um, but I would say it's very much like an on ramp for the freeway that is this style of game. Of
Yeah.
hey, you can enjoy an Elden Ring or you can enjoy a Nightreign and kind of get a taste of what this type of game, the other variants of it can be, whether it be Eliza P, whether it be a Neo, a Black Myth Wukong, whether it be a Demon Souls, a Dark Souls, a Sekiro, like more entry points for people to be like, hey, I can dip my toes in this without full committing, full sending to it. So and the multiplayer is fun. Like it's very, I think, just a little disjointed. I didn't even get into my thoughts of like how disorienting I get with this game. It is way like it's vertically disorienting for me.
Oh, buddy.
But anyway,
Have you played with all the shifting earths, like all the different shifting earths? I know we've done volcano because we got stuck with that one like 3 times in a row. I know
no,
we did.
the city.
Yeah, we did the city. Have you done the tower? So there's the mountain, and then there's the tower.
No, I haven't.
Okay,
we'll
so
have to.
we'll have to hit that one. We can talk that one when we hang out. But like the
Sure.
tower is that actually like lowered Nightrein's rating on Steam because that came with the DLC. And everyone was like, "Fuck this map design! This is the worst thing ever!" And I was just like, "It's interesting because me being a bad player, I didn't have a hard time with that map." And so
Okay.
I was very confused. But I'd love to see how you react to it. Just because, like, since you had such a hard time with navigating the map, I'm like, man, this one would suck.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
I'll need a few drinks before that, Matt. But what about your answer to the question?
I think it actually, for me, it actually changed. So, like, who I originally thought Nightreign was for was that it was for the hardcore Souls people that, like, were sick of a bad multiplayer experience, right? And so, like, when I bought it, I was like, okay, I'm not a hardcore Souls person. I'm probably going to bounce off of this, but I want to support experimentation of the genre. So, fuck it, we ball. So, when I bought it, and I was like, okay, this doesn't feel like hardcore. Like this doesn't feel like our other friends who play Bloodborne on like blood level a bajillion or whatever, right? Like this felt like a multiplayer experience that was like wrapped up in the Elden Ring kind of like gameplay mechanics, but was something that felt fundamentally new. And so I was like, okay, I was wrong. It isn't about hardcore Souls veterans. I think it's closer to what you were talking about, where it's like an on-ramp for players to kind of get onboarded into the Souls-like. But then I think it turned into, and this is very specific to my experience with it, it became like the game I play with my friends.
Yeah.
You know, like it wasn't like the game, it wasn't the game that I want to force my friends to play with me. It was literally like, this is a game that like I can just shoot the shit and hang out with my friends in, despite it feeling like grim dark and all that stuff like that. Like it's one of those things where like we became so mechanically enmeshed in it that it's like it's in our standard rotation of Friday games. You know what I mean? And that's interesting because I self-identify as a casual, right? And so then my brain started short-circuiting. I'm like, wait, so is Nightreign a casual game? It's not a casual game. Is it a cozy game? It's not a cozy game.
I mean, casual in the FromSoft stuff, yeah.
It's probably casual,
but like
FromSoft, yeah.
Like there, it is the when you were saying the typical like FromSoft fan, like the hardcore.
Yeah.
I don't think their biggest complaint is how poor multiplayer is. I don't think they care about multiplayer. I think they're like, give me a grueling single player, death fest. Right. And I'm happy, and that's fine. Like, love that for you.
Right.
This is, I think, for those that are like, "Hey, I've been curious, but what about these other things?" And it's a very dangerous line because people are like, "Oh, a ring closing Fortnite is is
Yeah.
FromSoft becoming Fortnite, all these other
Yeah.
stuff. It's like, no, they did that. They did the dance of what this is pretty well, all things considered.
Yeah.
And I'm curious what they do going forward with this or with other projects that they're more experimental with,
So
as a whole.
I as an end cap for that, I know that was my last question, but like really
Second health bar.
second health bar. Yeah, this is where the boss like stands up, sheds his skin, turns into 3 other bosses, and is just like, I'm gonna fuck your shit up. By the way, the bonfire you ran from is 3 hours in that direction, so you better not die. That's fully going to happen in a FromSoft game.
Yes.
Or probably already has. Do you think you'll still be playing Nightreign in a year? Right? Like as a new inductee of it.
A year?
A
year, I doubt it.
Okay.
Just being realistic, I think
Yeah.
I'll get a lot more miles out of it. I think it won't be like a next month and over kind of thing.
Yeah.
I definitely like. For me, I need to know what I'm chasing, and if I'm not chasing anything, it starts to like wane on me.
Yeah. That's fair.
And we do have, but it's not to say we'll go away. Be like, okay, yeah, do we want to dip into it? Sure, but I would probably pick something else that I want to chase something in. Like No Rest, I want to chase the story with you guys.
Yeah.
This, I want to chase finishing these other bosses together, and there's still even we haven't even touched the Everdark versions of things. So or doing it with other classes, and then Monster Hunter is kind of like potentially back into the thing. So
oh my god, yeah.
I say that to say there's a rotation, and it's not leaving the rotation in my eyes right now.
Okay.
But I know how much, like doing what I do, how many games come and go in my life, and that it won't probably have as strong a. I like to play it with you guys. Like that won't differ. But I don't know what a year from now would look like. What about for you? Do you think it would stay around for you for?
I think it's dependent on if you guys are still playing it. Like I think it would never leave my rotation so long as I have people that want to play it. But
yeah, you're not playing with randoms.
Yeah, I'm not going to sit there and play with randoms. I know that's different from Marco. Marco is like crazy. Like
crazy good.
No, legitimately crazy good. Like it's one of those things where like when I would log in, like she'd have done like 3 runs and it's just like, man, I only just got to like Everdark level 4, and I'm like, level 4? Level 4? I can't even get out of level 0. What the fuck? Like, and it's not easy to like get those levels. Like it's rank play functionally at that point. And I'm just like, I'm not doing that. Like I don't have time for that in my life right now. I just want to casually hang out with my friends and probably get bodied by this stupid monster. That's it. So I think I'll be playing it as long as they keep updating it. Like that's something that will always get me is like there's slots for other like Night Raiders for us to play with. So I'm like, if they keep updating them, like you said, Sekiro is just right there. Like give me I guess that's Executor, but like give me more of those bosses. Like I'd be super hyped to fight that stupid monkey that rips his head off and fights you anyways. Like that'd be a fun one.
So they did. Apparently, there's some talk of there being potential updates going into early 2026 for the game. So I'm very curious what those could be, whether they're free or whether they're more DLC. But I'm excited. I like it. I like what's we've gotten. What you guys. So playing with you guys has been I think the way for me to enter this. Like if I wouldn't have, I tried getting it and I missed the boat. I was like, oh shit, I don't have time to play with them. And I felt like that boat had left. So I'm like, oh, cool, it came back.
I'm glad we were able to get you on that boat, man. Because I was just like, oh, this would be so much fun if we could get Cujo on this. So, like, it's true. It was fun. It has been fun.
Can't confirm it's been fun.
Yeah, we'll continue to be so. So, all right, man. Thank you again for coming to talk games. I always appreciate it.
Of course.
Where can the people find you?
They can find me at Cujo Prime everywhere. Talking about games, talking about game developers, talking with game developers and game performers on Save Point Stories, my podcast. And yeah, I've been talking with you.
Sweet. Thanks, man. And everyone in the chat, please don't at me. I'm a filthy casual. I don't know what I'm talking about. So, like, let's be clear on that. I just want to put that one out there. So, Thanks everyone for listening. I apologize if I got anything wrong. Okay, bye.
Never apologize. Never give up.
Never mind. I don't apologize. Fully commit. Full send.
Full send.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, thanks.